What's up, everybody?
How you doing?
Welcome to The Leap. I'm Steve Lucas.
I'm Tim Hughes.
And have we got a good one here today? We got lots of different stuff to talk about. I think the first thing that would just be a good one here, just to go right off the bat, what you were suggesting here, how COVID has been affecting teams this year, and how certain players are just, I don't want to necessarily say you must comply, but at the same time, it's kind of like, come on.
Why don't you? I mean, you're just screwing your own team and yourselves, really.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, when you put, like, that's one of the things about it, like, when you step into this type of, like, step in that type of work where you're going and doing a team sport, like, when you put your own selfish stuff above the team and you put, you know, I know we promised we've never really talked politics really on our show, but, like, this is one of those things that's really affected. Yeah, like, we kind of have to bring it up because it's like, guys, like, okay, the Devonte Adams and Lazard thing. Because I know Devonte isn't vaccinated, but was Lazard vaccinated?
Well, see, I had heard Devonte was vaccinated.
See, that's what I heard too. When I was talking with Matt last night about it, he said that he wasn't. So, like, and I didn't really look or anything, but, like, and because I guess by the way Devonte was doing is that he was willing to comply with getting tested multiple times a week. He's like, I don't have a problem being tested. If that's what you guys want to do, then by all means. But I don't want to get the vaccine right now. And it's like, okay, like, that's fine. But at the same time, if you're not getting vaccinated, all you're doing is, one, you're putting your team in jeopardy, but two, like, you put yourself in jeopardy of, especially when you're a big time player like that.
Well, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
what are you doing? Would you mind grabbing that? Wedge, come here. Bring that here.
What is it?
It's a piece of plastic he's chewing on.
Oh, here, let me try to.
Yeah, try to get that from him there. Like,
Hey, come here. Where is it?
I think it's in it. Okay, maybe he dropped it. I don't know. He was chewing on it, so that's why I was like, what the hell? Wedge, come here. Come here. Come here. Buddy.
That's Wedge.
The Wedge, the puppy. He's being
a puppy.
Oh, there it is, right there next to your foot.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay, I'll get it.
No, the other
right.
Yep, that.
Okay, I got it.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, because I was hearing, I was like, don't do that. But yeah, like, I'm not sure entirely about the whole Adams thing, but, like, when you're a big time player, okay, with like going on the code thing here, that if you're a big time player, you're now putting yourself in jeopardy of not. Oh, you are killing me here, dog. I apologize, everybody. Hold up. Because I hears it. And now the doggo is in trouble. Okay, come. Bring it out that way. Grab it. And pull that directly out of your mouth. Because screw you, guy. You can choke on that and you can get hurts there, puppers. Come on now. Oh, you're killing the podcast here at the beginning, everybody. Yeah, like you basically are now putting your entire team in jeopardy, but also you're putting your season in jeopardy because if you end up catching it, and let's say, you know, with Devonte and Lazard, they're going to be out at least 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
If not more.
Yeah.
Like, how badly are you going... Like, how badly are you willing to, like, jeopardize your season because you're not willing to do something as simple as get a vaccine?
Well, right. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
You know, like, when 90%, like you said, like we were looking up, like, 90% of the league, roughly, is vaccinated. Right? Tom Brady, the biggest douchebag in football history, made it a mission to make sure that every single Bucs player was vaccinated. They're like, we're not playing this game. If you're going to be here, you're getting vaccinated, period.
And that's the way it should be. I mean, any sport. I don't know if it's baseball. And I know there's some people that are going to say, well, people that have been vaccinated have gotten COVID. Well, yeah. I mean, what, maybe like 5%, maybe?
Getting into, dude.
It's a small percentage.
Well, right. Like, it is relatively small. Like, yes, okay. Not to pull this whole thing, but, like, just because you have the vaccine, yes, you can still catch it. Like, what do you got, Wedge? Jesus Christ, you're just making all this fucking noise. But, like, the thing is, though, well, like, it's been proven at this point, and whether you want to believe it or not, that's entirely up to you on your whole, whatever side of this that you're sitting on. But ultimately, right now, and this is how it goes, this is how science works, is, the people with the vaccine are not going to have very much to do with with spread. It's going to be those who don't got it.
Right. Exactly.
Like, that's how it works. So, like, clearly, yeah, there's a percentage of people who are vaccinated who are still catching it. But that percentage is minuscule in comparison to those who are not. And whatever side you want to be on, whatever side you want to believe, that's just the facts. Like, like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, like, I feel like Kyrie Irving and Cole Beasley are the two prime examples of how fucked this is. Now, going with this whole thing in the NBA, Kyrie is basically on this whole, I'm not going to get it. You're not going to stop me from playing. You're not going to force me to get the prick. He's basically being a prima donna little bitch about it. And basically being like, I am above every one of you. I am above the game. I am above the world. And it's like, wow, dude, like, that is by far one of the most selfish things I've ever seen.
Oh, completely.
Like, because when you look at Kyrie, like, Kyrie's supposed to be one of the big-time players on that team, and you're not willing to comply with what the league and the CDC and everybody else is willing to say. Like, if I was the GM of the Brooklyn Nets, I would literally just be like, okay, bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're not going to waste my time, and you're not going to waste my season and waste my money because you want to be a fucking prima donna.
Right.
You want to have those views? Cool. Go somewhere else. Let somebody else go ahead and be that problem. Deal with that problem. Because I'm not going to fucking do it.
Right, exactly.
Kirk
Cousins is a good example.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins. If I die, I die. Get off the cross, dude. We need the wood. Get the fuck out of here. Cole Beasley is like just a dickhead about it. He's just a dickhead in general at this point. But
D-Hop is saying that there's two different sets of, like, if you're vaccinated, you get preferential treatment in the league, which he's right, and rightly so.
Well,
I mean, you should. I mean, I guess if you aren't vaccinated during practices, you have to wear a mask. That's what I read. But I mean, and you also, they said something about yellow wristbands, and I'm not really sure. The way they said it, it sounded like the players that weren't vaccinated had to wear yellow, like, bracelets, so that they knew which ones weren't, I guess. I don't know.
I haven't heard anything about that, but I mean, like, the thing is I know that people want to have their own perspective on the whole vaccination thing, and whatever your thing is, that's on you. Yeah, that's but unfortunately, like, yeah, that's your business. I'm just gonna dive in from this standpoint. Like, you need to. I don't like being the type of person to be like, you just fucking do it. But at this point, like, I just want to kind of grab all these people and be like, guys, you do realize that they would get off your ass if you just did it.
Oh, well, yeah.
Do you realize that they would not talk about COVID in the NFL anymore really that much if we had 100% vaccination rate between coaches, players, and everything else? Because there's coaches that, like, haven't gotten it. And yeah, there would probably still be some cases.
Right.
But it wouldn't be it wouldn't be to the point to where it's literally has a chance of affecting people's seasons.
Right. Well, look at it from the standpoint that last week Cliff Kingsbury had it. This week Matt Nagy has it.
Yeah, and Cliff Kingsbury is still going to be out this week.
Yeah. And Matt Nagy's
going to be out. Shit, the Nagy thing, that could be a blessing in disguise in all reality. Let's be real about this. Matt Nagy is the worst coach in the fucking NFL right now. But I digress.
But the thing also is game plans have to change then, for the most part, because you're dealing with different coaches that have to take up the mantle. And I mean, granted, they're going to do pretty much the same game plan, but it might be a little bit different because, they're a different type of coach, I would imagine,
Well, I would assume like what like I'm sure like what Kingsbury's probably going to be doing, and like I'm sure Nagy is too. During the week, they're going to still help set the game plan. They're very much just going to be working at home, and trying to do what they can from a virtual setting in order to help do their part. But like the main thing about it is that's the big key to it is the fact that they can't do anything other than that. Right. They can't call in during the game. No. They can't go call the defensive coordinator and being like, "Why aren't you running cover 2?" They can't do that. So,
and plus, what happens when you have to adapt? I mean, that brings up a whole different can of worms. You have to adapt. To what the team's doing. You can't just have a game plan, and use it the whole game if the other team is changing their style of play,
Right. Like, all it's doing is, like I've been saying here, it's hurting your team.
Oh, completely.
Like, and especially, like, okay, players are going to be prima donnas.
Well, right.
They're going to get it in their head, and feel the way that they're going to feel. The one that really chaps my ass right now about this is the coaches. You guys are supposed to be the main leaders of that team. And if I was a coach, I would want to lead my team by example and be like, hey, I'm going to do this. I suggest we all do it.
Right.
For everybody's safety. We're a team. We got to, we're supposed to be a team, supposed to be a family. Let's fucking go ahead and do this together and make it to where this doesn't need to be an issue right now. And then it really probably wouldn't be nearly as much of an issue. We wouldn't be hearing every single week of this person or that person having to go into COVID protocol if everybody in the league was vaccinated.
Well, heck, Lamar Jackson has gotten COVID twice. I mean, isn't that like a red flag saying you should probably get vaccinated?
But do it. Like, put your own fucking personal bullshit aside.
And also the game planning. I mean, now there's plays that they can't do because Devonte Adams is out. There's plays I'm sure that were designed for Lazard that they're not going to be able to do.
Right. Well, I mean, Lazard isn't going to be. Lazard.
But Devonte Adams.
You have to change your entire offensive play in order for that, because now you're going to have to go more through your run game, which the Packers have got one of the better run games in football, so I think we'll be okay there. But Arizona's also got an amazing defense. That front seven is nasty. I mean, I don't know if. I don't think the Packers are going to have enough to get through it.
I don't either. I mean, they, and the thing is Arizona's played some tough teams. Teams.
Yeah.
And they've won every game.
Yeah.
I mean, that tells you something right there.
That team is...
and
I think it's funny when people, they try to say, this defense, they have a bunch of stud players, but, it's... I remember hearing, I can't remember who the hell it was, but it was somebody on TikTok saying that Arizona's defense is eventually going to falter because they don't have any quote-unquote X-factor players anymore. Like J.J. Watt isn't playing the way that J.J. Watt was playing a few years ago. But to me, I look at it like this, and this is just looking at that team in general. You remember the movie Miracle?
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Russell?
Yep.
It's not about having the best players. It's about having the right ones. It's about having the players that you need that are going to fit within your machine. And right now, Arizona, while stacked with a lot of amazing talent, maybe one being D-Hop is probably the only person on that team that can be considered towards the absolute very top at their position.
Oh, true.
Otherwise, it's, you got some maybe top 10 guys, some top 15 guys, but all those guys fit within their machine,
Oh, yeah.
And every single one of these guys is executing their job to fucking perfection. And it's like...
And it's like every week it's somebody different stepping up on the offense.
Yeah, it's never exactly one guy. Kyler. Kyler is the facilitator of all of it, and I'll admit that it would not... The Kyler is definitely the main person that's like helping get those plays open for people. But like when you look at it, it's like Hopkins isn't playing entirely like Hopkins, because Kyler's moving the ball everywhere.
Everywhere. Yep. I mean, Christian Kirk, AJ Green.
AJ Green, I'll admit, is finally getting his start.
AJ Green has been a surprise this year. I mean, and it's because of Kyler. I mean, Kyler makes those players so much better. Yeah. And now you got Zach Ertz. I mean, another offensive weapon that you can utilize at any time.
Something this is one that chaps my ass a bit. And I feel it's something that is not right, and they need to do something about it. They need to fix it.
What's that?
Larry Fitzgerald is still a free agent, has never won a Super Bowl. The Cardinals have got a real shot at getting themselves a Super Bowl right now. You guys trying to tell me that you don't want to sign back, even though he's at the tail end of his career and he's not going to do a whole hell of a lot for you. You trying to tell me that you can't fit one spot in that wide receiver room for a future Hall of Famer to get one last shot to get a ring? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
that's something that chaps my ass. That's something that I feel needs to be fixed. The guy is one of the best wide receivers of all time. And the team, and the moment that he leaves, his team is now undefeated, and he has a shot at they now have a shot at getting a ring. You trying to tell me you can't fit one spot for him? Not one. You can't sign him to a small deal contract, let him go. You guys, let's say, because the Cardinals are definitely a favorite one of the favorites to possibly go and get a Super Bowl this year right now. They haven't lost to anybody. They've been beating ass. They got a real shot.
Well, and the thing is they're not just winning by a little. They're winning by a lot.
Yeah, most of those games are fucking blowouts.
So unbelievably crazy. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think Larry Fitzgerald would fit in really well there as even maybe a fourth receiver.
Yeah, even as a 4 or 5, you only have him go out there once in a while. You let the guy at least have a shot to go out with some fucking grace and possibly with a little bit of hardware that is goddamn well deserved.
Right, exactly. No, you're absolutely right. And plus, he's been pretty much the face of that franchise for what, probably 12, 13 years?
Yeah, give or take.
More.
He's definitely been a face of that franchise. And the thing is he's been a face of the NFL. Because of how much of a humanitarian he's been, how much he gives back. He's one of the most wholesome people to ever walk through the NFL.
Completely. You're absolutely right.
To me,
he's a class act.
Yeah, absolutely. Total class act. Always loved Fitz. It's really hard for me to sit back and even though I'm not even a Cardinals fan, I'm just a fan of him. Let this happen.
I think that's a great idea. I really do. I'm totally all on board with that. I would be very happy to see them sign Larry Fitzgerald for even just 1 year, maybe.
Yeah, even just for the rest of this year.
Yeah. Why not?
Give him a chance.
Yeah.
Just give him a fucking what's the worst that could happen?
Nothing. Because let's say he plays one game, hurts his leg or whatever, and is out. What have you lost?
Nothing. You lost a little bit of money. Oh, darn.
Oh, big deal.
Yeah, come on, dude. You guys have already been doing pretty decent on your cap space and everything.
Right.
Come on.
Which is so crazy in itself because they have more cap room, to sign somebody next year too. I mean,
right. They can keep adding. Like, they've been very smart about how they've built that team.
Oh, completely.
Let's go ahead and get on to our next topic here, though. And this is one that I'm not sure how if we're going to take very long on it, but, like, I just want to go ahead and throw a little something on here. Patrick Mahomes' fiance is a fucking cancer, okay? Sit down, Brittany. Sit the fuck down. Like, this is by far one of... Between the fiance and his fucking brother, I just... that shit just drives me absolutely fucking nuts. Like...
Like that whole Sean Gilbert or Sean, what was
the
it?
Sean Taylor thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brittany Matthews is I was trying to remember the last name without, by the power of Google. But yeah, no, like, apparently she's an absolute fucking cancer. Like, she is basically, she's an Omega Karen in training. Like, she is, though. Like, she is absolutely toxic to everybody on fucking social media. She basically goes around and plays the fucking rich wife victim syndrome to the fucking T. Like, I know that this girl and Patrick have been together for fucking ever and everything like that. But to me at this point, it feels like she is basically playing off the whole I'm better and smarter and all this other stuff than everybody, when Patrick is the one who's earned that nut. That's Patrick's fame.
Yeah.
Okay? Sorry, Brittany, but I don't remember you going out there and winning a fucking MVP. I don't remember you going out there and going to back-to-back Super Bowls and winning one of them. I don't remember you having one of the most prolific passing seasons in NFL history. I don't remember seeing you going ahead and doing that.
No.
I don't remember seeing you go out and lead your team to fucking all those fucking crazy-ass comebacks after having an MCL tear. I don't remember seeing you doing that. I remember you sitting up there in the press box fucking feeding yourself fucking drinks and going ahead and having a Twitter frenzy. That's all you've done. Okay? This may be me going ahead and being whatever about it, but literally all you've done is you hopped on the right cock and now you're playing the fucking... Now you're just playing the fucking whatever card with it. Like, I'm better than you card. Stop it, okay? Like, that is not your fame. That is your man's fame, and you need to fucking back it off there a little bit. Like, all you're doing is feeding off of his shit. And the same thing with his fucking brother.
Right.
Fucking that Sean Taylor number thing with them posing the picture and him doing a TikTok dance on it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even a Washington fan, but if I saw that shit and I was on that sideline, I would want to walk up and punch him right in the fucking face. Like, how dare you, dude? You disrespect probably one of the greatest defensive players in the entire league, so you can go ahead and get a couple of million views on TikTok.
Who died tragically.
Right.
I mean, he was.
It is by far one of the worst fucking stories in the history of sports.
Yeah.
And you guys literally are trying to put yourselves above that. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. Like, if I was Patrick, man, I would be having a field day with you fucking people right now. Because Patrick is by far one of the most humble and lovable people in the NFL. Like, it makes me really sad to see how Patrick is amongst all of this. And then you see the people around him being so fucking toxic.
Oh, completely. Because it's embarrassing.
It is. It's fucking embarrassing.
It is. It is completely. Because Patrick Mahomes is, like you said, he's a wholesome guy. He doesn't go around doing stuff like that. No. I mean, I've never heard him say a bad word about anybody on another team or anything.
Yeah, no, he always knows how to play him. He knows how to, I don't want to say he knows how to play his role, but, like, he understands what the process is. He understands that the things that you do, when you're in that position, the things that you do and you say matter.
Well, and they reflect on the Kansas City Chiefs. They reflect on Patrick Mahomes, definitely. Right, because
all that Brittany and his brother are doing is this toxic behavior is now making people, like, really question Mahomes overall.
Which is wrong because
and
it's not even Mahomes doing any of this.
No, I like if I was Mahomes, I would be like, you guys need to fucking stop. Like I would look over at Brittany and be like, you need to stop being such a toxic bitch. Sorry, but that's what you're being. You're being a toxic bitch. Okay? I'd look over at Jackson and be like, put your fucking phone away. Stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop it. Like the next time, like I don't care if I'm in the middle of a fucking play. The next time I see you standing on the sidelines trying to make a fucking TikTok over some stupid shit, I'm going to leave the fucking play, grab the phone, smash it, and smack the fuck out of you. Like that's where I would be at with this. Obviously,
definitely.
I know Patrick's not going to do that because, that would cause a big thing. But like that's what should happen.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, when it comes to people like that, the only thing that they understand is the extreme.
Oh, completely. No, you're right.
Because that's where they're going to be at. Like, when it comes to Brittany, the only thing she understands is extremes, because that's where she takes it.
Definitely.
No,
you're right.
A great comparison to this would be Russell Wilson. Because Russell Wilson, when it's a great parallel. Because Russell Wilson, he had, I can't remember her name, but a very toxic relationship. He got out of it, and then he and what was her name, Sierra, the singer. Yep. They started dating, and now they're married, and they have a great relationship. Mahomes, in my opinion, needs to ditch this chick, pay her off, whatever. You got fucking, you got dollars. Go ahead and do your thing. Hopefully, you're not exactly married yet, so you can probably get away from the crazy without having to spend too much, and then focus on your game, dude.
Right.
Like, and you'll find your next person that's going to actually fucking appreciate you and not turn into whatever this is.
And not turn it into a complete sideshow.
Right. Because that's all it is. Like, it's kind of sad that, like, Mahomes kind of has, like, the rapper entourage thing around him, the crazy rapper entourage, while he's literally, but they're the people who are doing all the crazy shit instead of him.
Kind of reminds me of Allen Iverson a little bit, about how his entourage, like, we're just totally living off of his fame. And, and
well, shit, go off of the actual show entourage.
Yep.
You literally have people who aren't, their only purpose is being in that person's life.
Right.
Exactly. And nothing more. Like, there's nothing else to it. So, like, that's what pisses me off. Like, obviously, you can't get rid of his brother.
No.
Hold up. Okay, I gotta see what this is. Got a trade alert.
Ooh.
Let's see.
Who is it?
Oh my God, it's this guy who keeps trying to make, this guy just beat me. Get the fuck out of here.
What is it?
Okay, this guy has almost once a week sent me a trade. It's the guy keeps trying to go for Eckler.
Oh, okay.
So, okay.
I've seen some of these trades.
Okay, guys, this is perfect. I know we're not doing our fantasy stuff yet because we still got other stuff to go, but this. So I give him Austin Eckler.
Okay.
And then I get Robinson, Shepard, and Mixon.
Oh, man, that's not even a... what a ridiculous trade. I mean, come on.
Like, I know I lost to this dude, and I'm kind of struggling right now. Well, I wouldn't say struggling, because, like, on this particular team, I'm 4-3. This is with the Letterkenny Shamrocks. So, like...
Mixon, Robinson hasn't had a good game. Maybe he's had one or two, but nothing major. And, what was the other one? Shepard? He's injured. I mean, he's done fairly decent in PPR, but I wouldn't do that trade. You wouldn't get me to do that trade in a million years. Even with a gun to my head. Well, maybe with a gun to my head.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, no, dude, like,
that's...
yeah, I'm not gonna trade you.
No. No, Eckler is having an amazing year.
Right? Why would I get rid? Get the fuck out of here! Like you're, and the thing is that this guy has sent me trades like there was at one point where he sent me like 3 or 4 trades in one day. No, not accept, decline. Get the fuck out of here! No, yeah, like he sent me these trades, and every time I see it, I'm like you would think like maybe after the first couple, that you would get the idea that I'm not moving them. I'm not looking to move my number 1 pick.
And not for some magic beans. Because that's all it is really magic beans.
Yeah. Right, okay, now on that particular team, do I need running back help? Oh, absolutely. Adding 2 running backs to my lineup would be great.
But adding quantity doesn't mean quality by any means. I know. You can throw like 5, 6 running backs. Why you would have that many, I don't know. But if they're not good running backs, who gives a fuck? I mean,
right, Mixon has been very up and down. He only does good against bad teams. That would have been an interesting year. But yeah, Shepard, why would I take a wide receiver that I'm not going to be able to play?
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. Old girl's a fucking cancer. I feel like Patrick Mahomes needs to just fucking move on from that.
And we'll move on from this topic.
Yeah, let's move on from this topic. Okay. Let's go ahead and hop into the possible draft order. I got the top 10 picks of, at least right now, what the first 10 picks look like they could be in this next year's draft.
2022.
So, obviously, sitting at number 1, haven't won a game. It is what it is.
Detroit. It's just so awful because Detroit's the kind of team that you want to see them win at least maybe 3 or 4 games, just so they can say, "Yay, participation."
Looking at this top 10, it's kind of riddled with teams that have been stuck in this area for a hot second. I guess except maybe remove 1 or 2 of these teams. So 1 is Detroit, 2 is the Jets, 3 is the Texans, 4 Jags. Via trade from Miami, at least right now, the way the current things are sitting. And then here's where things could get really interesting, in my opinion. You got the Giants at 6, Washington at 7, Atlanta at 8, the Giants again at 9 via Chicago, and then Philly at 10. So you got 2 NFC East teams
with two
top 10 picks right now.
Ooh. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that could. I mean, especially Philadelphia. I don't think that far away from being at least an 8-8 team. If they get a couple
well, they're
players.
2-5 right now.
Right, but what I'm saying is if they get a couple players next year, they could be 8-8. I mean,
well, yeah, they need to. I feel
they need
like
offensive line help, definitely.
Oh yeah, they definitely need offensive line help. Philly issues in my opinion right now, and I don't give a shit what anybody has to say about Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry, but y'all need a true number 1 back. You need it.
Oh, completely.
And you don't have that right now. I'm sorry, in my opinion, you don't.
Miles Sanders is... he's not good.
Well, especially because of that offensive line. Sorry, but Philly, your offensive line is not anywhere nearly as good as it used to be. And also, now that you got rid of Zach Ertz, and I know that...
Goddard.
Yeah, Goddard is doing...
But Goddard may be
Right, and you really think he's going to want to re-sign?
Why would you want to?
Yeah,
I wouldn't. No,
I wouldn't right now. A few years ago, like when they were in the Super Bowl contention and they had that team, fuck yeah, I wouldn't see any reason why not. I'd be like, sure, this looks like a great plan. Right now,
they have good cornerbacks.
He sent another one. Oh my God, he sent me another one.
All right,
let's see. Oh my God. Dude, I wish I had an ability to get a hold of this cat. Yo!
The fantasy
football trade. It's not going to happen. Like, why? Why are you doing this?
Who is it? What did he go?
Oh, I'm waiting for it to load. I just, for fuck's sake. This guy, take the fucking hint, dog.
Yeah, you're not gonna...
I'm not going to do it. I can do it.
Not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it. All right? I'm not giving up Austin Eckler. All right.
God.
Let's see. Let's see what this is now. Oh, my God.
Is it even worse?
Oh, I don't know. It's still loading.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, here we go. Trade proposals. It's the same fucking trade.
What is he trying to
It's literally the same exact trade. It's Shepard, Mixon, and Robinson. Stop it. Oh my God. Dude. I
almost dropped Antonio Gibson the other day accidentally. I mean, he's not great, but I don't want to drop him. But I almost hit drop, and luckily my finger just kind of grazed it. So yeah, be very careful. Don't drop players you don't want to accidentally even.
Right, though. What is this guy expecting to happen here? Oh my God, that is just fucking insane. If this is about to be this shit again, I'm
surprised that Houston hasn't traded Brandon Cooks yet. Because if you think about it, they could get another probably top 20 pick. For him. I mean, because they're not going to do anything this year.
Well, right. I think what they should do is this is kind of why I feel like starting the draft order topic was going to be a good way to segue into the other stuff leading into the fantasy here to wrap up hour one. So, looking at these first few picks, Detroit is... Okay, so basically what I want to do is take this to open up on the future of the QB position of a lot of teams after 2021. Okay, obviously there's a lot of teams that are pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, we don't know if Rodgers is going to stay in Green Bay. There's been a lot of speculation of Russell Wilson possibly wanting to leave Seattle. Pittsburgh is another one. Houston is a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Miami is one because they've been looking at possibly trading Tua. Detroit, obviously, because of fucking Jared Goff. And another one that I feel is kind of... People really haven't been talking about it too much, but Cleveland. Because Baker... This is Baker's final year of his contract. So there's been a big part of it of whether or not the Browns are going to...
Re-sign him?
Will re-sign him to the level of contract that he might feel that he's worth. Because there's a lot of people who are talking about whether or not he's going to make a $30, $40 million a year, whether or not he's going to get paid like how Dak wants to get paid or how Mahomes is going to get paid.
I don't think he deserves it. I mean, not deserves, but I don't think that he has the numbers.
He doesn't. I don't think that. Okay, I like Baker in Cleveland.
I like Baker.
And I think Baker would be great to stay in Cleveland,
but not for $30 million.
Not for that much. No,
for Christ's sake,
$20-some million.
Yeah,
you want to give him to the $20 to $25 million a year range?
Yeah.
By all means,
but not 30. No,
he hasn't done enough to earn that.
He's not an elite quarterback yet.
He's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
But
he's not an elite quarterback.
I
would say that he's second tier as far as quarterbacks go.
Well, I mean, yeah, like if you had the ability to take Lamar or Mahomes or Rodgers or Allen or Justin Herbert even at this point, I would take any one of those guys over Baker.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, homie.
But by the same token, his receivers are injured all the time.
Yeah, and the Browns are winning because of that run game.
Oh, completely.
And, the Browns have the best offensive line money can buy.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a great running back core. They have great coaching.
Yeah.
Well, what's up?
Oh, no, I was just stretching, man.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, like I look at the draft order here, like Detroit, in my eyes, you need to take a quarterback. Like, I'm sorry, but like you traded away Stafford. You got Goff and you got some picks. You're about to have that number one, and you got some other picks there in the first round for the next couple of years. Use it.
Oh yeah, take a quarterback.
And even that's if there's a quarterback that's even worth it. That's true. That's the thing is, it's like this last year there was a ton of great quarterback talent. This upcoming year there might be some good quarterbacks that come through, but like to me it's like Detroit, you need to use those picks to. You got to start adding depth to your team, especially your defense. Like, honestly, with me, when it comes to Detroit, that number one pick, I would be looking, if there's not a quarterback that is a clear-cut number one, you need to take the best defensive player available in the draft, in my opinion.
Completely.
Or take another offensive lineman.
That's not a bad idea.
Because they got Sewell, that guy from Oregon.
That guy's good.
That guy's great.
Oh, yeah.
That guy.
Could you imagine, like, another offensive lineman to go with that? I mean...
That's where I'm kind of sitting with it. Like, do that. That would be a great move for your franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Beef up your offensive line. Why the fuck not?
Right.
Like, the Jets... That's another one where it's like you either can go, because you got your quarterback. I know a lot of people aren't sold on Zach Wilson, but he doesn't have an offensive line. He doesn't have hardly any weapons. What do you expect the guy to do? Get a weapon, get an offensive lineman. You know, you should be doing this stuff in the offseason too, like that would be what I would do there.
Well, I think they need a running back, because if you look at their running backs, they aren't real. They're maybe like backups. None of those guys, I would say, constitutes. Maybe Carter. Carter, he's doing okay.
He's doing all right,
considering what they have. I mean, he might have even done better if they had a better offensive line.
Well, that team in general would do better if they have an offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, they need the Jets, in my opinion. They need, through the offseason and through the draft, they need to start building back up their offensive front and their defensive front, because both of those areas are lacking in a lot of ways.
That's why Cincinnati's so good this year, I think.
They spent the time. They picked up some linemen. They picked up some key guys for their defense. And again, it wasn't we want the best players. They were just picking up the right ones. They were picking up guys that they knew that they could just plug in, plug and play. That's kind of what they ended up doing there. And that's... hell, they're picking up Jamar Chase. Like, the guy's going to probably end up winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, for fuck's sakes.
Definitely.
Jacksonville is a better team, I feel, than their record portrays, strictly because of their fucking coaching. Like, I think Urban Meyer needs to be gone after this year. You had your 1 year. You couldn't do nothing. The Cons gave you so much. You got your quarterback. You got a great running back core. You got a pretty good offensive line. You got a pretty decent defense, and what's supposed to be a pretty decent defense. And you got offensive weapons.
Oh yeah.
You got you got some great fucking receivers kicking around there in Jacksonville. What in the ever-loving fuck are you guys doing? Like, they need to have a new coach. Sorry.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer needs to go back to college.
Sometimes college coaches don't pan out. I mean,
right.
It doesn't work all the time. Look at Steve Spurrier. Good example.
That's a great example for it.
Great college coach, but just couldn't do anything in the pros at all.
Right. Wedge is trying to say hi. Wedge, about a buddy.
Mm-hmm.
He's being a buddy. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that. Well, hell, I know this is somewhat on topic. Mike Tomlin, he was getting asked if he was going to go to coach college after this year, and he was just like, "No, never. Like, why would I give up my position?" Like, people are asking if Tomlin's going to end up leaving Pittsburgh because they're not having that good of a year this year, and it's like, Mike Tomlin is still one of the best coaches in the league.
Right, Tomlin isn't the issue.
Tomlin has never been the issue in Pittsburgh.
It's Roethlisberger, and
they didn't, and a lot of their skill position players.
Yeah.
Like, that's it, straight up. Like, it was those skill position players. Like, they don't, like Antonio Brown having his prima donna fit, which, mind you, yeah, he's doing great in Tampa Bay, but, like, let's be real, it was a prima donna fit. Then you had Le'Veon Bell going and having his big old fucking thing. You know, a lot of those players from that period are now either gone, retired, or playing elsewhere. I mean, hell, your best fucking lineman, Villanueva, is now playing in fucking Baltimore now.
Right.
You know, and he's on the tail end of his career. You know, he doesn't have much time left. And, you know, but I mean, let's be real. He's been played for a good amount of years as an offensive lineman. Like, but, like, Tomlin was never the issue for me. It was always the surrounding cast. Like, and that's going to be a big thing on the QB conversation here is, like, Pittsburgh is one that is going to be a very interesting situation when this season ends.
Oh, most
because you know Roethlisberger is going to leave. Like,
well,
okay, I mean, he's either going to retire or they're going to release him. It's not. They're not going to spend any more time on this.
And they should. I mean, he isn't playing real well. I mean,
he's only had a couple of games that have been okay this year. Yeah. Like, it's not been anything.
I mean, look at that Packer game. He just looked completely lost.
You know, it's interesting that you bring that one up because you remember the little look that Tomlin and Rodgers were having there. There's been, because since that, people have been speculating pretty heavily on whether or not Rodgers might go to the Steelers next year.
I actually think that would be a good move. I mean, not from a Packers standpoint because...
But, right, I mean, I want to see him stay.
Like you had said, go to the AFC, you know... Mm-hmm. Do something that's going to challenge you that you haven't done in your career before. You know, like you said, Tom Brady going from the AFC to the NFC. A great move because look at what he was able to accomplish.
Well, right, and he also stepped onto a super team. And I wouldn't say Rodgers going to the Steelers would necessarily be a super team, but he would be stepping into a prime position. The only thing, he's got some good receivers there.
He's got a good running back.
Great running back.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good offensive line. Great coaching staff. Amazing defense.
Right. I mean...
Like, he would be able to get a lot accomplished. And also, Pittsburgh doesn't do that great this year because they're doing pretty mediocre.
What are they, like 2-4, I think, or 3-3?
I think 3-3. I would have to take
a
quick
think it's
gander.
3-3.
They've been pretty middle of the road.
Yeah. I mean, their defense has played some good games.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
them going ahead and signing Watt to that long-term deal.
That was key. If they had lost Watt, you could have kissed that whole season goodbye as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Because their defense would not have looked anywhere near as good.
I agree. I think I think that would be a good matchup, but also the other one, and this is like what we were talking about before, there's been the talk of Pittsburgh possibly trading with Houston for Watson.
Now, that's not a bad idea.
Well,
but I mean, I wouldn't give up the farm for him if he's not going to play next year. Why would you?
Yeah, why would you do that for a guy that you're only really going to have for this season?
Right, because...
Basically, like, you might be able to have him for longer if you get lucky.
Yeah, but I don't think the NFL, if he's found guilty, is going to let him play next year. I think he'll be suspended for the whole year.
Yeah, if he doesn't end up going to jail.
Well, right.
You know, like with all the shit that's going on with that. I mean, it would be.
It begs the question: why did he have to do that? Why did he have to do that at all? Because, I mean, he could have had anybody he wanted. You know, he's a multi-million-dollar dude. You know, I'm sure that most women probably find him attractive. I mean, I'm a guy, so. And, I mean, if other... Oh, that...
Well, that escalated really fucking quick.
Okay. Let's forget that. Okay, anyway.
Oh, that's fucking great.
It's from my mouth and my foot. I put in my mouth. What the fuck did I just say?
Well, hey, real quick.
Let's get
John Boy, John, thank you for fucking joining us. He just went and hopped in here.
I'm sorry, by the way. I didn't mean to do it.
But he ended up saying here, how about my Titans, man? Someone has to put some respect on him. And you know what? You are absolutely right.
Yep.
They started off rough. The Titans did start off a little bit rough. Tannehill has not really been putting out the production that we were expecting him to. Wedge, stop it. Little shit. Don't be biting people. But I will say this, man. The Titans defense is not the greatest. I feel the main reason why the Titans are doing what they're doing is because of King Henry.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean,
that guy's a beast.
Henry is a monster.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, as of right now. Hey, stop
Calm
that.
down.
Don't be biting people. You do that again, I'm going to beat that butt. You know what? Yeah, he's getting my respect too. I figured he would be doing better, but the thing is, with their receiving core being out, like, what are you going to do, man? I mean, Brown has been pretty up and down. Julio has not been playing to his potential, in my opinion.
Leo?
Yeah, Julio. But I mean, he's a good facilitator. I mean, honestly, I feel like, but I think Derrick Henry is going to get the MVP this year, the way he's playing. Well, I mean, he's having probably the most prolific freaking offensive rushing season in the history of the NFL right now. The guy's a fucking monster. But yeah, so back on this, looking at this, the part of this topic that's really kind of crazy for the top 10 with the QB thing is I'm looking not necessarily at Philly, but at the Giants. They potentially have... They ain't going to keep that.
No, why would you want to?
No. No.
You can't run at
is he playing good football right now? Sure, he's doing okay. But...
is he gonna get you to the next step? Next level?
No, he is not.
No.
But unfortunately, I feel like the Giants are a team that they have a few decent players, but in my opinion, like looking at this, they got 2 first-round picks right there. To me, I feel like this is at a point where maybe it might not be a bad idea to do a fire sale.
Yeah.
Trade away your best stock.
Mm-hmm.
Get your value out of it. Like, Saquon hasn't been able to stay off of IR because you don't have an offensive line to protect him.
Right.
Trade him. Like, get... Oh, buddy. Sorry you have to do the shitty work thing. But, yeah, like, take Barkley, move him back. Like move him away. Like, trade him, see what you can get for value. Because I'm sure there's a lot of great teams out there right now I remember they were talking about Baltimore possibly going and scooping him up.
Ooh.
There's a lot of really good teams that could utilize a back like Barkley and would be willing to trade.
Right.
Probably trade the farm for him.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
and maybe you have like three or four number one picks in next year's draft. Who knows? I mean,
well, even the next couple of drafts, you can have a lot of good. You give yourself a lot of first and second round picks. You know,
Sure.
simply by moving a couple of these guys, you could go ahead and get your QB of the future. You can go, and also that another part of it is that you'll be freeing up cap space.
yeah.
So
and
you
get
could
an
start
offensive line.
Yeah, you could start rebuilding that offensive line, that offensive front. You could start rebuilding that defensive front. You could possibly get your QB of the future here in the next couple of years, and you can use that stock and that capital to go ahead and build yourself something. Like, because as of right now, they're basically grasping at whatever they can and trying to be competitive, and it's not working.
No.
I'm sorry, it's
They'll maybe
not
have
fucking working.
5, maybe 6 wins at
At best.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, is that acceptable?
No.
I
I
mean,
mean, and if you want to be like a competitive team, no.
yeah, right now they're not doing anything that's worth,
No.
like,
No.
worth
It's kind
it.
of like the Eagles. I mean, they've got a few good players, but for the most part,
See, I feel like the Eagles are in a better spot in that department. Because Philly, I would not say is at the point where they need to do a fire sale.
no, not yet.
Yet. Like, not at this point, because, like, Jalen Hurts is doing pretty damn good.
Right.
You know, he's not the QB messiah people think he is, in my
No.
opinion, but
He's doing okay.
He's doing okay, and he definitely could become that guy. You know,
Yeah.
Devonte Smith having a good fucking year for a rookie campaign, considering the fact of how that team has been doing. They still have some depth on that defensive front. They still have a couple of decent offensive linemen. If they were to rebuild their offensive line a little bit, add to that defense,
Get a
and
running back.
and rebuild that running back core. Rebuild it from the ground up. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to
Get
me,
all
it's
them
at this
out of there.
point, grab whoever is there, fucking
them out.
yeet them. Yeet them.
Yep.
Bye. Like, sorry.
See you later,
Miles
Boston.
Sanders isn't that good.
Boston
Fucking-
Scott.
who?
Yeah.
Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but you need to rebuild that core group of guys. Like, you need to retool that offense in a lot of ways, especially when you go ahead and you give away fucking Ertz. Like,
That made no sense.
well, okay, they got, like, what was it they got out of it? Like a 5th rounder or some shit like that?
for Ertz.
Yeah, that was it. They got
Oh,
like a
God.
fucking 5th rounder for him.
I mean, granted, Ertz is a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of trying. I think it was probably like Arizona was one of the only teams that was probably the best offer,
Right.
and that's probably why they took it. They're like, well, fuck it, we at least got something,
Something out of it, yeah.
you know.
And I mean, they're going to lose both their tight ends at the end of the year possibly because Goddard.
Right.
He's, you know.
Yeah, But getting on the topic.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Just trying to see. We're already wrapping up hour 1 here,
Oh,
and we
geez.
still got a little bit here to go on this.
Okay.
For the QB thing, because we got Rodgers, Watson, and Wilson all potentially going to be in different spots next year. We got a lot of these teams that are going to be in a very transitional places with the QB position here in the next couple of years. I think that this next year in free agency is going to be probably one of the craziest we've ever seen.
And I thought this past year was pretty crazy.
I mean, yeah, it was, and this year it's just going to get even crazier.
I mean, Denver's going to need a quarterback probably.
Yep, that's another one that I can see. Well, I mean, Teddy's doing okay.
He's okay, but I mean, how long is he going to be able to last there? That's the question.
Right, and plus also what type of capital are they? Because I know they're willing to give up the farm for Watson, but like Denver is going to be one of those teams that they're not going to be able to really draft their future quarterback at the position they're going to be at. They're not going to have a high-end draft pick unless they straight up just say fuck it the rest of the year. And I don't see that happening. So I think the teams, in my opinion, that I see here when I look at this top 10, because like Atlanta, they still got a few years left with Matt Ryan. I would say try to retool the team around him, But like the teams that I say that really need is like Detroit, Houston, Giants, Washington.
Yep.
Those 4 teams right there in this top 10 are guys that I feel they either need to be willing to trade their stock away for a top end guy, or they need to try to draft somebody.
True. You're absolutely
Detroit and Houston, I think, are going to draft. Because I don't see Rodgers or Wilson going to any one of those places. I don't see Watson going to either one of those.
No.
That Detroit, Rodgers isn't going to go sign to go finish out his career in Detroit. That ain't going to fucking happen.
That would be stupid.
I don't see him going to New York either.
Mm-mm.
No New York team is good enough to bring Rodgers or Wilson in.
Maybe San Francisco.
That's one that's always kind of sat in the back of the mind there a little bit to be like...
Because that's a team that was his favorite when he was a kid.
Right, that was a team he always wanted to go play for.
Right.
So, I mean, that would be one that would make sense. Like, I wouldn't be shocked at that. You see, the thing is I really wouldn't be shocked to see a team like Cleveland be willing to let Baker Mayfield go. And then, like, say they would go to maybe try to make a trade for, like, a Russell Wilson. Or even be willing to throw some money at an Aaron Rodgers. And be like, yo, hey.
Come over
like,
here. That would be really interesting.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers with the Browns.
Oh, my God. You
got
that power running game. You got, and I mean...
one of the best defenses in the league. Like,
yeah.
That would be Rodgers, in my opinion, stepping into a super team, especially if, say, Devonte went to Cleveland with him.
Ooh.
So you'd have Devonte and Jarvis Landry and Odell and fucking Austin Hooper and Njoku and that running game and the best offensive line money can buy. That would be Rodgers' super team. In my opinion. That would be it. That's a big stretch. Obviously, it's not. That's something that's so not even remotely close to being in the cards. But looking at it from a fan standpoint, like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. If I were to see Rodgers go to the Browns, that would be one of those moments where I would legitimately buy a Rodgers Browns jersey. I would
too, actually. Yep.
How could I be possibly mad at that? Because because outside of when LeBron was with the Cavs, I mean, I'm an Indians fan, so I grew up not a couple of hours away from Cleveland, so obviously I know a good chunk of Browns fans. Like, I've always had respect for the Browns and the Browns fan base, because the Browns fan base is by far one of the most loyal fan bases out there.
They have...
And they've gone through some shit.
Damn. I mean, they've gone through a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so
they lost their team, and then they got it back. Thank God.
They did. And I was happy for them on that.
Oh, me too.
And and as much as smack as I've talked about the Browns, and it was never against the Browns fans, but it was always against the organization, because I always felt like the organization just wasn't giving enough to the fans. Like, they weren't doing enough to build a winner. And right now, they're actually doing something to build a winner, because they have, even with the injuries that they've had, in my opinion, the Browns are still one of the best teams in the AFC. In my opinion, when that team is 100% completely healthy, they are a Super Bowl contender right now.
And they have a good coach. Really
great coach. Great coach.
Yeah.
Dude has a chance of winning Coach of the Year if Cliff Kingsbury doesn't get it. He's going to get it. But yeah, I just think that the QB thing is going to be very different here going into next year. But moving on, let's go ahead and do underrated killer of the week.
Underrated killer of the week.
I apologize for the. I don't truly know how to say this guy's last name, and I apologize. But the tight end from Cincinnati, CJ Ozuma or Ozumoa, I'm not entirely sure. I apologize for the mispronunciation here. But homeboy went out there and balled this last week, freaking getting a couple of touchdowns. Nobody was like, when I scooped him up this last week, he wasn't owned in a lot of 10-man leagues.
Oh, no.
Not on ESPN. It was only like 20, 30%. So, hold on here. He's been kicking some serious freaking ass in this last game, and I think that going forward for the next couple of weeks, he's probably going to be doing a lot more. If he's going to be a guy that's going to be great to pick up.
I think he had about 120 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll have to take a quick look here. Just got a message from my boss about coming in early. Yeah, because let's see here. Let me bring this back. Oh, shit. So, he had 91 yards.
Oh, no, okay.
Oh, shit.
For a tight end, actually, he's having a pretty decent year. He has 256 yards and 5 touchdowns already. In a standard league, that's 55.6 points.
Yeah, like the first few games there, he wasn't doing a whole heck of a lot, but he's had Jacksonville and against Baltimore, he's balled out. And the thing is, it's like 3 targets, 3 receptions. And, he's gotten the 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, that is just crazy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No, you're absolutely right.
Like, gosh, I really hope that I don't have to call this shit short because of fucking work. Because that's going to piss me off. Oh, yeah, I can pull that off.
How y'all doing?
Okay, there.
That's done.
Sorry about that.
No leap.
real life stuff interrupting us.
Leap. Come on, everybody, do the leap. Do the leap with me. Do the leap with me.
I think though that CJ here is definitely going to be somebody that would be somebody to definitely start scooping up in fantasy here, because that's going to be a great segue into fantasy. Because he is one guy that I got, especially going up against the Jets.
Oh,
because that Jets defense is trash.
Oh yeah. It's stupid.
And then for tight ends, I got him there. I got just diving into starting bench here.
Starting bench. Starting bench.
I got Tyler Higbee because he's going up against. Pretty much, I got 4 different Rams players on here. Well, okay.
Well, yeah, they're playing a really bad team.
Yeah, they're playing Houston, and yeah, they're going to Houston, but like,
it's Houston.
I got, if you got Higbee, start him. You got Stafford, start him. You got Cooper Kupp, you better start him. And then if you got freaking Henderson,
Woods, maybe even. Maybe
Woods has been very up and down this year, though.
Yep. Henderson definitely.
Henderson, absolutely, man. That guy's been a bomb this year. And then I got T.J. Hawkinson going up against Philly. And Philly's got a pretty good defense, but Hawkinson's been getting tons of targets. And he's just been having a great year. Going for running backs here, yeah, I got Henderson against Houston. I got Eckler going into New England. I think Eckler's going to have a big game.
Oh, yeah.
New England's a good team, but I just don't see that. DeAndre Swift against Philly. Like, again, this Philly team is good, but Swift and Hawkinson have been having great years, even though this Detroit team has been playing so fucking bad.
I know. They're the only bright spots really on that team.
Really,
besides Sewell.
Well, I mean, yeah, Sewell's has been a great offensive lineman, but like when it comes to the offensive production, it has been going between those two.
Well, yeah.
Like those two have been the ones that have been really getting after it, in my opinion. And then the last running back I got here, who I'll admit it, I picked him up, and then I let him go, and then it seems like he's starting to pick up his fucking stride, and I kind of regret it. Is Leonard Fournette going against New Orleans? Now they're going into New Orleans, and New Orleans still has a good defense. But the thing is I feel like the Saints have kind of leveled out.
I think you're probably right.
And Tampa Bay is just kind of catching their steam. So I feel like they're going to really get. I feel like Tampa Bay is going to straight up spank those guys.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not going to be.
Tampa Bay has a good team. Obviously.
Yeah, they do.
And I think Bunting may be coming back this week, if I'm not mistaken.
That would be good if Bunting.
Oh yeah, can you imagine? I mean, because he's their best secondary player by far. I think
he's definitely my favorite of theirs in that position. Sorry, wide receiver wise. I guess if you got Antonio Brown, go ahead and bench him. I just found that out beforehand. Throw Mike Evans in there instead. Mike Evans. All you motherfuckers have been sleeping on Mike Evans. I told you. I told you. Not to be like, you should only listen to me. I'm a fantasy god. No, not going to say that. But Mike Evans has had a great fucking year.
Oh, yeah.
He's been tearing it up. And I'm not talking about just this last week where he got 3 fucking touchdowns. I'm talking about the whole fucking season. Yeah. The guy's been having a great year.
Minus the first game where they didn't utilize him at all.
Well, they didn't. Yeah, no, they didn't utilize him. But then again, they didn't.
They didn't need to. Yeah,
they didn't need to because they were going through Godwin and Brown. Right. But then the last receiver that I have to start is Stefan Dix. They're going against Miami.
Oh yeah.
The Bills are gonna. They're in Buffalo.
Oh. Yeah.
So and I would also say I also have Emmanuel Sanders in at the flex.
Buffalo chicken himself.
Oh, Buffalo chicken, man. Like, it gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna happen.
He's gonna fry them Dolphins.
Gonna
make mahi out of them.
I got 2 guys here to bench, and both of them are wide receivers. Adam Thielen going up against Dallas because I'm sorry, but Adam Thielen really hasn't been doing that great this year. Obviously, Justin Jefferson has been getting all the gusto from that. And also Dallas' secondary, like they say that Dallas' defense is ranked as one of the worst, and that these guys have favorable matchups, and I think that is a gross understatement.
Oh, I think so too.
I'm not a gross understatement, but like a gross miscalculation.
Yeah. Because
like Dallas's defense, they've been kind of a bend but not break type of defense.
They're better than last year. By far.
Oh yeah, big time. And then the other receiver I got here is Calvin Ridley going up against Carolina. Yes, Carolina has not done that great over the last few games. But the reason why I say this is because Calvin Ridley is a bust. I'm sorry. He is a bust this year. He has done fuck all. He hasn't done anything. So, like, how could I justify saying that you should be putting this guy in? Like, honestly, if you got Calvin Ridley, if you got a guy in your league that is willing to take the shot and trade for and take him off your hands, go ahead and do it while there's still some value on his name. Because here in the next couple of weeks, I guarantee you it's not going to be anything. He's not going to have any fucking trade value. It's just not going to be there.
Nah.
Like, by the end of this year, it's kind of funny that everybody thought because he had such a great year last year that all of a sudden he was going to be a top 5 receiver. And now all of a sudden it's like, this guy's not even top 30 in my opinion right now.
Yeah.
diving into quarterbacks here, the quarterback matchups here are pretty straightforward for the 4 guys that I got that are must starts. Starting off, Matthew Stafford going up against Houston. Again, like no brainer. Stafford's having an amazing year. Pretty fucking clean cut. Joe Burrow going up against the Jets. Burrow has been killing it so far this year. And the Jets defense, I mean, come on.
Jets are going to need to burrow into that stadium because
I feel like there's probably going to be a couple of Jets players who are going to be wanting to cry after this fucking game. Like, for real, though. Like, that's kind of where I see it. Josh Allen against Miami. Mm-hmm. Like, Miami is a terrible fucking team. Josh Allen is going to absolutely destroy them. And this one might be a bit of a tougher matchup, but I think that it's one that will work out well for his favor. Justin Herbert.
Oh, yeah.
He's been having a good year.
Yep.
He's got good stats. He's been helping his team win. And New England, while a good team, they're still kind of in that transition period because they're still trying to evaluate Mac Jones here. While New England's got a good defense, I feel like it's probably not going to be enough to slow
it's going
them
to be on the field a lot longer.
Yeah.
And it's going to get tired.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold that Chargers offense off.
Not Eckler, not Williams.
No. Corduro, Patterson, and Devonte Booker are the 2 guys I got here for flex. Patterson is basically like a guaranteed freaking flex beast right now.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because, I mean, it just goes to show how bad that Atlanta team is right now. Man. That the guy who's getting the most offensive points for you is a gadget guy. Yeah. That's a wide receiver that literally they have listed as a running back right now.
Go gadget!
Right, and Devonte Booker, I mean, he's been doing pretty well. Filling in for Barkley. And he's got a really favorable matchup going up again. They're going to Kansas City, but Kansas City's defense is bad.
Oh, they're bad.
They are just so bad. So there's not much that it's not going to take much for him to have a decent game.
Yep.
That wedge. Butters. What are you doing, little buddy? And then I very rarely ever do this, but if there's a defense that you want to pick up this week, because they're not owned in a lot of leagues, is the Bengals defense.
I think the Bengals defense is going to do quite well against the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, I scooped them up.
Did you really?
I can't remember if it was in this league or I think it was in this league. I can't remember. Hold on, let me double check to make sure it was in there. No, it was either in this league or one of the other leagues that I'm in. I scooped them up. Well, it's mainly because of the fact that, the Cardinals don't have going up against Green Bay, and yes, I know they don't have Devonte or Lazard, but, Green Bay, that doesn't necessarily mean that Rodgers isn't going to do something, you know what I mean?
Right. Rodgers has had worse to work with and still done well.
Exactly. So that's why I was trying to find something different because, I did pick them up in our league, and I'm going to pop them in here because I think that that's going to be a matchup that's going to work really well. I think that the Bengals defense is going to have a field day with that Jets offense.
Oh, yeah.
And the Bengals defense has been playing pretty damn well. So I think that's just how I just think that's, very rarely ever say much on defense for fantasy, but I think that's one that that's going to work really well. Okay, before we dive into topic of the week here, let's go ahead and dive into pickups. So, okay, we're a little late to the party on the pick'em party here, but I figure we're starting this here. So I got the list of the teams here, I got of the games, then I got
for you and me. So, Green Bay versus Arizona.
I hate to say this.
I hate to say it either.
Yeah, both go with Arizona on that one. I think Arizona's just too darn fucking good for that one.
Definitely.
This is a kind of a tough one here. The next one, Carolina versus Atlanta.
That's a really tough one. I'm going Atlanta.
Atlanta? Okay.
I don't know. I'm not too confident on it, but
you see, I'm going to go with Carolina.
Okay.
One, to add a little division, but
Okay,
two,
yeah.
because it's one of those ones where you don't really know what to expect.
Because Atlanta's offense has done better, but now this is the big but, and I got a big but. I can't lie. Sorry. Anyway, I think if it's going to come down to Carolina's defense. If Carolina's defense can stop Atlanta's offense, I think Carolina will win. Because Carolina, I mean, Chuba Hubbard just doesn't really. I just don't have any real confidence in that. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, DJ Moore is really the only Carolina Panther that's really done anything this year on offense, I think.
I mean, yeah, Robbie Anderson's had a couple of decent plays, but nothing overly spectacular. I mean, Hubbard's done all right, but he's no McCaffrey.
No.
You know?
And I mean, granted, they shouldn't try to make him into a McCaffrey. By any means.
Well, no, not by any.
I mean, is he better than Mike Davis was last year? That's a big question.
Yet to be seen. It's only been a couple of games, I guess.
Exactly. You got to give him more time, I guess. But
so the next game I got here, San Francisco at Chicago.
Ooh. I think I'm going to go... That's a tough one.
See, I'm going to go with San Francisco.
Okay.
Because I feel like Chicago is kind of in shambles.
Yeah.
And
they don't have a coach right now. And,
well, that might be something that might work out to their favor.
Yeah. I'm going to take Chicago.
You're going to take Chicago?
I'm going to take Chicago. And, I mean, I'm a Packers fan. But it's at home. And San Francisco's offense isn't that great. I mean, they're okay, but
they're doing all right. They're doing enough to keep themselves in games, but that's really about it.
And their defense, where it's better than last year, is still not that. It's middle of the road, I think.
Right.
I would say maybe around 19, 20, somewhere around there.
Give or take a few, yeah. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. This is another tough one.
I'm going Cleveland.
You know Cleveland?
Yep.
I kind of feel inclined to go with Cleveland here myself because it's in Cleveland. Chubb is back. And also Landry's back now. I feel like maybe their offense... I'm not sure if Baker's going to be back this week or not. But... because I know they said what's going on with his shoulder, he's going to get off-season surgery, but he's going to finish out the season because it's a non-throwing arm issue. But I just feel like Cleveland's got more... They got the better advantage.
Completely.
Philadelphia against Detroit.
And it's in Detroit.
It is in Detroit,
I'm going Detroit.
You know what? I am too. I feel like this is going to be
the game.
This is going to be the game that Detroit finally gets that first win. Because Detroit has kept themselves in games, and I feel like maybe them having home field advantage, them going in against a team that is also not the greatest right now.
I mean,
they might be able to sneak one out here. They might be able to sneak one out. I guess we'll see. fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Tennessee against Indiana, going into Indianapolis.
Tennessee.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Like, clearly.
If you even have to think about that one.
Don't think about that one. Like, I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. The next one's pretty much, I feel, is going to be a no-brainer. Cincy going into New York to play the Jets.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, same. I'm going. Go Bengals.
Go Bengals.
See, there's a few here that are probably going to be pretty. Like this next one, the Rams against Houston.
Oh, Rams.
Like,
You have to think about that one.
Right. Like it's pretty fucking clear.
Houston, we have a problem.
Houston, y'all are the problem.
Yep.
New England. This is an interesting one, but New England going into the Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers on this one. That's just
me too.
You too? Okay. Yeah. You see, I kind of had a feeling on that one.
I'm sold on the Chargers.
The Chargers are a good team.
I'm on the bandwagon.
You're on the bandwagon.
I'm on the bandwagon.
I'm on the bandwagon and getting a lightning bolt tattooed on my ass. No, not really.
I want to.
You sick bastard. Jacksonville going into Seattle.
I'm going Jacksonville. I think that Seattle just doesn't have anything right now that really, really sticks out. I mean, Geno Smith looked lost. Completely lost last week on Monday.
I mean, yeah, no, I agree.
It's bad. I mean, I have Tyler Lockett, and I'm benching Tyler Lockett this week. That's how bad it's gotten. I mean, I don't have any confidence in Seattle's team whatsoever right now. When Russell Wilson comes back, maybe.
Yeah, once Russell Wilson comes back, it's a completely different fucking story.
Completely, yeah.
Like, but as of right now, you don't have Wilson in. Like,
and their defense is pretty bad.
Their defense, yeah.
Their running game. I mean, Carson's out.
I'm about to be like, what running game? They don't have a running game.
Yeah.
See, okay. Say what you will about this. I don't give a shit what Carson's stats have been over the last couple of years. Seattle has not had a good running game since Beast Mode left.
Oh, completely.
Okay?
Yeah.
Once Marshawn left,
that was it.
Their running game is done.
Oh, yeah.
And then it has been strictly set to...
And Carson's been so injury prone.
Right. Like, it's feast or famine.
Oh, no.
Like, it's feast or famine. What are you going to do? Like,
that's why I didn't take him in fantasy. I was just
right.
I couldn't.
It's not worth it.
No.
It's not worth it.
Just move on to that.
Right. Another tough one here. Washington against Denver. Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I'm going Denver just because it's in Denver. Their offenses are pretty much stagnant on both sides. I do think that Denver has the better defense.
Right now, yes.
If they have Von Miller.
Mm.
If Miller's out, well, I don't know about that.
And I hate to say that. See it because Washington was supposed to have one of the best one of the best defenses in the league this year.
And biggest disappointment.
The Washington
really
football team is probably the biggest
Washington
disappointment this year.
And
Same.
I feel like it left a bad taste in my mouth the way they were playing.
Yeah, it's fucking 3-4 a.m. at the house party, and you're pretty wasted. And instead of grabbing your drink, you go ahead and you grab the one that's got the fucking cigarette butts in it, and you go
or the chew.
Yeah, or the chaw. You just like that's Washington now, man. That's that bad one. The next couple are probably going to be pretty clean cut here. Tampa Bay going into New Orleans. I'm taking Tampa.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, that's pretty clear cut. It's going to take a miracle for that to happen. And I don't see it.
Yep.
I don't.
Yep.
Dallas going into Minnesota.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm picking Dallas.
Me
I
too.
think
Me
Dallas
too.
is the better team here. Minnesota is one of the most underrated teams in the league right now.
Oh, yeah.
But
and the most hard luck.
That's really what it is. They've had really tough luck against good teams, and that's been...
Even teams that weren't necessarily that great, they still haven't had great luck. I mean, look at that Detroit game. They almost lost that game against Detroit. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get with Minnesota. One week they can be really good. The next week, who knows?
Yeah, you really have no fucking idea.
Yeah, and I mean, but you're right. I think they are underrated.
They are. Like, it's kind of crazy to see that Minnesota, like, some games they play like a fucking playoff contender.
Oh, yeah.
And then the very next week they just play like a damn donkey.
And you're thinking to yourself, oh, yeah, okay, now Minnesota, this is the Minnesota team that I thought they were going to have.
Right, because I figured Minnesota was going to be a much better team.
Oh, I thought they were
year.
going to be a juggernaut this year.
Really looking at their overall team, it's like, okay, Kirk Cousins is a top 12 quarterback, give or take, stats-wise.
This year, he's actually overachieved, I think.
I think he has, too, because he's played a lot of very big games. You know, you got a good receiving core.
Oh, great receiving.
You got a good running back core, pretty good offensive line, and a pretty fair defense.
I think their offensive line has gotten better than last year. I think they actually did improve.
They have done better on allowing Cousins more time to get rid of the football,
right?
Because his time to throw is a lot higher than it was last year.
Right, and you're right about the defense. I think their defense is a little bit better than last year. I think it's still kind of middle of the road.
See, that's the best way to describe it. They're middle of the road.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
they're not
bad, but they're not exceptional either.
Right.
You know, the last game that I got here, and this I think is going to be a pretty clear-cut game too. The Giants going to Kansas City. While Kansas City has been pretty much the way I'm going to look at this game, I'm picking KC.
I am too.
I feel like KC being at home is going to be the advantage because the Giants don't have that great of a defense. Mahomes, Kelsey, and freaking Hill on Williams are probably, and Darrell Williams are going to probably have good games. Not to say that the Giants aren't going to have a good game offensively because the Chiefs' defense is practically non-existent.
Right.
But I don't think, in my opinion, Daniel Jones is not good enough to go shot for shot with Mahomes. It's just not.
And that's what it's going to come down to.
Right. It's going to come down to whether or not Jones can go throw for throw with Patrick, and that.
No, it's not going to.
That's not going to happen. No. I'm sorry.
Even with a concussed Patrick Mahomes, it wouldn't happen. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't see it. I just don't, man. I don't see it really going the way that they. No, I just don't.
No.
Hold on here. Hold on a second.
I'm going Stafford against Houston. Houston? Stafford's going against Houston this week, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, Stafford's going up against Houston. But, wow, man, we've been kind of breezing by here, and I apologize for the work messages and whatnot. But let's go ahead and dive into, with the last half hour here, topic of the week.
All right.
This is going to be our first time going not NFL related. We are a football podcast by nature, so we're going to be talking about all aspects of football. Our topic of the week this week is one that I've been kind of passionate about for a bit, and I feel it's something that desperately needs to change, is the college football playoff.
Ugh, yeah. Well, I think they needed to change that since they even set it up.
Well, same. I think The one thing that I saw is that when they changed it to the 4-team playoff and everything like that, it was a good start. But it needs to change. It needs to evolve because, unfortunately, at the end of the day, it's still built around the ranking system. And basically the fact of letting this committee and coaches basically determine who the quote-unquote best teams are.
And it's ridiculous.
That, in my eyes, okay, sure, lots of people want to, I know right now Alabama's not the number one team right now, nor is Ohio State, and that is big. Right now it's currently Georgia. They've earned it. They've been kicking ass.
Oh, yeah.
But the past few years have really kind of solidified this mentality in me of how they need to change it. To me, the ranking system, it's fine for determining who people feel are the best teams in the country, sure. But that does not warrant whether or not somebody is good enough to make a national championship. Okay? When I see teams like Ohio State who not even make the Big Ten championship, like that what happened a bunch of years back, and yet still make the playoff, and the Big Ten champion not make the playoff, that is insulting.
Oh yeah, completely.
You know, that is an insult. To me, I think the way they need to do the college football playoff right now is, okay, right now there are 11 major conferences in Division I.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Considering how and honestly, I feel like the easiest way to do it is take the independent conference, redistribute those teams into the major conferences, and then you have 10. Then at that point, you take the champions of the 10 major conferences, and then you start a playoff from there. You could take the top two teams from that, like whatever it is, whether, basically the two conference champions with the best record. Okay, so like say, you can have like a Georgia, and then let's say going into for like the Big Ten right now would probably be, I'd say, either Penn State or Iowa. One of those teams have the bye for the first bit, and then go from there, and then you play it off until you got your champion. And that'll make it to where, for one, you win your conference championship, you got a shot at a national title.
Oh yeah.
Which is the way that should be. It shouldn't be a matter of what coaches and this fucking committee of people say. It should be the play on the field.
Well, it's a popularity contest.
And that's why I'm sick of it.
Yeah,
I'm sick of the popularity contest.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of seeing teams like Ohio State make it there because people want them there. It's not because they earned it.
Oh, no.
It's because they want them there.
Yeah.
Like, Alabama has been a powerhouse team for a long-ass time. But there have been times when they have still made the playoff when they have not deserved it.
Right.
There's been times where I've seen Alabama go into an SEC championship game where, in all reality, they probably shouldn't have fucking been there.
Right.
It's not very often, but it happens. Like, they stack it against... They basically are trying to make it, in my opinion, to where it's the same few teams every single year.
Oh, true.
We got to see Alabama. We got to see Ohio State. We have to see Clemson.
Yep, exactly.
Occasionally you're going to see, we have to see Notre Dame. Or if you get one of the Pac teams, it's going to be, Oregon or USC probably.
Yeah, maybe UCLA if...
Depending on how good they're playing. But also that's the thing about it is, you got teams like Oregon who play really good fucking football most years and are usually a Pac-10 championship contender, not getting an opportunity at a national championship because of strength of schedule and the popularity contest. I'm sorry, but if you guys were to change this up to where you have that new bracket and then you have that go there, yeah, sure. Oregon might go and absolutely destroy like a Boise State or whoever wins the Mountain West. You know, you might end up having, like, let's say, fucking, like, West Virginia or somebody, hey, don't be biting, you know, going and losing to a team like Georgia. Like, okay, fine, but at least they have their shot to get it.
Right, exactly.
You know, like, give these teams that are winning their conference an opportunity to do it.
Definitely.
Like, that makes no fucking sense to me. And to me, I feel like it's extremely insulting. Because it basically, the integrity of the national championship, in my eyes,
is tainted.
It's been tainted for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's been times where it's like, oh, yeah, Alabama's national champions. And it's like, great, cool. Yeah, it's because you guys literally put them there.
Exactly.
Like, and yes, like, there's been a lot of great players who've come out of Alabama lately.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, they just need to... Oh, need to make a run?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I'll keep everybody occupied here for a few minutes. But yeah, guys, that's kind of the thing. Like, anybody listen to this, you guys want to go ahead and have this conversation, I'll throw a little something on here. People, hit us up on TikTok. Hit us up on Spotify or iTunes, wherever you guys listen to your podcasts. If you guys got TikTok, please, please, please. I know this is kind of going to be me counting like a bit of a broken record here, but I'm trying to get us on TikTok set up to 1,000 followers so we can go live on there, and that's to be able to extend the conversation. Obviously, the community that we want to build here about talking about football, like, unfortunately, like, well, not unfortunately, but like, we have to. When trying to build it, I feel like, from what I've seen, that TikTok is going to have the most discoverability. So for us to be able to expand our reach, that's one that is going to help us big time, and it's huge for discoverability. But yeah, guys, be sure to hit us up on all these different outlets, whether it be TikTok, here on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Be sure to hit us up there, guys. We've been appreciating the love lately, but. If you guys, I know might seem a little bit much with me going and beating this dead horse, but please, 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 we could definitely use that.
I'm back. Sorry.
Here you go. Got to moisten the palate a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, I think. I think that the college football playoff definitely is something that needs to be changed. And unfortunately, they're not going to change it because, we were just saying, the championship is now tainted, in my opinion.
I think you're right.
And it makes it to where, like, okay, looking at it like this, Iowa and Penn State. With Penn State losing that game to Iowa, their chances at the playoff are now over because that's probably going to be the one game they're going to lose this year was to Iowa.
And that's sad.
That's fucking ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Like, because the moment that Penn State lost that game, they dropped down to I think it was 7th or 8th.
Wow.
Right. They went from the 3rd or 4th best team in the fucking nation to 7th or 8th. And this is the thing about it. This is the bias that pisses me off about the committee, is that they look for any reason whatsoever to drop those particular teams out of contention.
Jeez.
It's happened to Penn State. It's happened to Iowa. It's happened to Wisconsin. It's happened to a lot of great teams that would have the opportunity. Hell, it's happened to Georgia. Right now, Georgia is at a point where, they're basically just beating everybody, and they're saying, no, you will not ignore us anymore. This is not going to fucking happen. We are going to show you that we are not only are we going to show you that we're the best team in the fucking nation, but we're going to take every single one of these guys that you guys have put on this fucking pedestal for the last 20 years, and we're going to make them our bitch. And I love that.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I love that. I love it when I see these types of teams fucking sticking it to these people and being like, no, fuck you. This is not fucking okay.
Oh, yeah.
Alabama is not the best team in college football.
Oh, no.
They're just not. You know, Ohio State is not the best team in college football. They haven't been for a very long time. You guys just put them in that position because they had Urban Meyer as their coach. And they produce some top-end talent. And, yeah, okay, they're one of the better teams in the Big Ten. But when these teams in the Big Ten are... Now, I'm not going to go into whether or not there's any level of cheating because that's just not...
Well, yeah. I mean,
there's no point in bringing up that. But there have been times where I've seen some games, like particularly with Ohio State, where, like, Ohio State gets a bit of an advantage over other teams in certain particular areas. It pisses me off. Like,
well, yeah.
Like Ohio State is the Alabama of the North, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, they literally are the most hated college football team above the Mason-Dixon line.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They really are. Like to say that they're not is fucking flat out goddamn lie.
I know.
You know, like, oh, it's a buddy who's trying to come and say hello. Are you little boy? Have you not gotten enough camera time? Is that what it is? You're like, hey man, I want to be the star of this show.
Wedge
the battle buddy. Hey there, Butters. Being so darn cute, just like just perched up, like, what's up?
I'm a people too.
Like, I'm part of the show too.
Yeah. It's the Butter Show. Right.
Oh shoot. Didn't realize I was at such a low battery there on this guy.
Oh no.
But yeah, like that was pretty much our thing there. Like, just change it.
Yeah.
Make it better. Like that.
Yeah.
The people who control college football playoff, I know y'all don't watch us. Okay, we got one viewer on here right now. Guess who that is? It's us. But still, do better. Like, that's the thing is, like, when I say this, like, not just to that, but like the world in general, do better. Wedge, no, he's fine as long as he doesn't go after any cords. Hi, buddy. Are you coming over here to Dad? You want to come over here to Dad? Hi, buddy. Oh, you guys. But on that note, yeah, going back to wrap things up here, yeah, guys, be sure to hit us up on, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever you guys get your podcasts. TikTok, definitely hit us up on there. Pretty much that's where I'm spending most of the time is on TikTok, trying to grow that reach outside of the weekly podcast, trying to get it to where we can start doing more podcasts throughout the week, possibly. So yeah, on that note, we're going to wrap things up here because, got to go do the real work thing.
I'm off today.
Lucky. I'm supposed to be off today, but, it'll happen.
Well, I'm off every day, but that's ridiculous.
But yeah, on that note, guys, definitely want to thank you guys for the love and support that we've gotten here over the last couple of months. Definitely excited to keep going here with you guys. And, yeah, see you guys next